A very pleasant afternoon, everyone. It's Sunday, and we are back to read out poems of Kamala Das. All of us know reading connects us to the poet. Their experiences become a part of us, and we get drowned in those emotions which the poet experienced. I'm sure every student out there who knows Kamala Das will agree what a wonderful person and a brilliant poet she was. She dared to speak on topics considered taboos even today. In our daily life of chaos, we hardly find time to read poems of such wonderful poets. So, spare a little time every Sunday to listen to Test Reading Club members read out poems to you and other plays also at 2 p.m. The best part is you may read along with us. If you wish to read along and participate in the live session, do leave us a message or you may search Test Reading Club group on Telegram. So, without much ado, let's start today's poems. An introduction read by Chitra.
I don't know politics, but I know the names of those in power and can repeat them like days of week or names of months beginning with Nehru. I am Indian, very brown, born in Malabar. I speak 3 languages, write in 2, dream in 1. Don't write in English, they said. English is not your mother tongue. Why not leave me alone, critics, friends, visiting cousins, every one of you? Why not let me speak in any language I like? The language I speak becomes mine. Its distortions, its queerness, all mine, mine alone. It is half English, half Indian, funny perhaps, but it is honest. It is as human as I am human. Don't you see? It voices my joys, my longings, my hopes, and it is useful to me as cawing is to cows or roaring to lions. It is human speech, the speech of the mind that is here and not there, a mind that sees and hears and is aware, not the deaf, blind speech of trees in a storm or of monsoon clouds of rain or the incoherent mutterings of the blazing funeral pyre. I was child, and later they told me I grew, for I became tall. My limbs swelled, and 1 or 2 places sprouted hair. When I asked for love, not knowing what else to ask for, he drew a youth of 16 into the bedroom and closed the door. He did not beat me, but my sad woman body felt so beaten. The weight of my breasts and womb crushed me. I shrank pitifully. Then I wore a shirt and my brother's trousers, cut my hair short, and ignored my womanliness. Dress in sari, be girl, be wife, they said. Be embroiderer, be cook, be a quarreler with servants. Fit in, oh belong, cried the categorizers. Don't sit on walls or peep in through our lace draped windows. Be Amy, or be Kamala, or better still, be Madhvikuti. It is time to choose a name, a role. Don't play pretending games. Don't play at schizophrenia or be a nympho. Don't cry embarrassingly loud when jilted in love. I met a man, loved him. Call him not by any name. He is every man who wants a woman, as I am every woman who seeks love. In him, the hungry taste of rivers, in me, the ocean's tireless waiting. Who are you? I asked each and everyone. The answer is, it is I, anywhere and everywhere. I see the one who calls himself, if in this world he is tightly packed like the sword in its teeth. It is I who drink lonely drinks at 12 midnight, in hotels of strange towns. It is I who laugh. It is I who make love and then feel shame. It is I who lie dying with a rattle in my throat. I am sinner. I am saint. I am the beloved and the betrayed. I have no joys which are not yours, no aches which are not yours. I too call myself I.
My grandmother's house. There is a house now far away where once I received love. That woman died. The house withdrew into silence. Snakes moved among books. I was then too young to read, and my blood turned cold like the moon. How often I think of going there to peer through blind eyes of windows or just listen to the frozen air. Or in wild despair, pick an armful of darkness to bring it here to lie behind my bedroom door like a brooding dog. You cannot believe, darling, can you, that I lived in such a house and was proud and loved. I, who have lost my way and beg now at strangers' doors to receive love, at least in small change. The Old Playhouse, read by Shushmita. You planned to tame a swallow, to hold her in the long summer of your love, so that she would forget not the raw seasons alone and the homes left behind, but also her nature, the urge to fly, and the endless pathways of the sky. It was not to gather knowledge of yet another man that I came to you, but to learn what I was, and by learning, to learn to grow. But every lesson you gave was about yourself. You were pleased with my body's response, its weather, its usual shallow convulsions. You dribbled spittle into my mouth. You poured yourself into every nook and cranny. You embalmed my poor lust with your bitter sweet juices. You called me wife. I was taught to break saccharine into your tea and to offer the right moments the vitamins. Cowering beneath your monstrous ego, I ate the magic loaf and became a dwarf. I lost my will and reason. To all your questions, I mumbled incoherent replies. The summer begins to pall. I remember the rudder breezes of the fall and the smoke from the burning leaves. Your room is always lit by artificial lights, your windows always shut. Even the air conditioner helps so little. All persuasive is the male scent of your breath. The cut flowers in the vases have begun to smell of human sweat. There is no more singing, no more dance. My mind is an old playhouse with all its light put out. The strong man's technique is always the same. He serves his love in lethal doses. For love is Narcissus at the water's edge, haunted by its own lonely face. And yet it must seek at last an end, a pure, total freedom. It must will the mirrors to shatter and the kind night to erase the water. The Dance of the Eunuchs, read by Sabita.
It was hot, so hot before the eunuchs came to dance, white skirts going round and round, cymbals richly clashing, and anklets jingling, jingling, jingling. Beneath the fiery gulmohar, with long braids flying, dark eyes flashing, they danced and they danced. Oh, they danced till they bled. There was green tattoos on their cheeks, jasmines in their hair. Some were dark, and some were almost fair. Their voices were harsh, their songs melancholy. They sang of lovers dying and or children left unborn. Some beat their drums, others beat their sorry breasts and wailed and writhed in vacant ecstasy. They were thin in limbs and dry, like half burnt logs from funeral pyres. A drought and a rottenness were in each of them. Even the crows were so silent on trees, and the children wide eyed, still. All were watching these poor creatures' convulsions. The sky crackled then. Thunder came, and lightning and rain, a meager rain that smelt of dust in attics and the urine of lizards and mice.
Words, read by Anjali.
All round me are words and words and words. They grow on me like leaves. They never seem to stop their slow growing from within. But I tell myself, words are a nuisance. Beware of them. They can be so many things: a cast where running feet must pause to look, a sea with paralyzing waves, a blast of burning air, or a knife most willing to cut your best friend's throat. Words are a nuisance, but they grow on me like leaves on a tree. They never seem to stop their coming from a silence somewhere deep within.
A Hot Noon in Malabar, read by Megha.
This is a noon for beggars with whining voices, a noon for men who come from hills, with parrots in a cage and fortune cards, all stained with time, for brown Kurawa girls with old eyes, who read palms in writing sing song, voices, for bangle sellers who spread on the cool black floor those red and green and blue bangles, all covered with the dust of roads, for all of them, whose feet, devouring rough miles, grow cracks on the heels, so that when they clambered up our porch, the noise was grating. Strange! This is a noon for strangers who part the window drapes and peer in, their hot eyes brimming with the sun, not seeing a thing in shadowy rooms and turn away and look so yearningly at the brickledge well. This is a noon for strangers with mistrust in their eyes, dark, silent ones who rarely speak at all, so that when they speak, their voices run wild like jungle voices. Yes, this is a noon for wild men, wild thoughts, wild love. To be here, far away, is torture. Wild feet stirring up the dust. This hot noon at my home in Malabar, and I so far away.
Summer in Calcutta. What is this drink but the April sun? Squeezed like an orange in my glass. I sip the fire, I drink and drink again. I'm drunk, yes, but on the gold of suns. What noble venom now flows through my veins and fills my mind with unhurried laughter. My worries doze, wee bubble rising my glass like a bride's nervous smile and meet my lips. Dear, forgive this moment's lull in wanting you, the blur in memory. How brief the term of my devotion, how brief your reign when I, with glass in hand, drink, drink, and drink again this juice of April suns. The Sunshine Cat, read by Sabita.
They did this to her, the men who know her, the man she loved, who loved her not enough, being selfish and a coward, the husband who neither loved nor used her, but was a ruthless watcher, and the band of cynics she turned to, clinging to their chests where new hair sprouted like great winged moths, burrowing her face into their smells and their young lusts to forget, oh, to forget. And they said, each of them, I do not love. I cannot love. It is not in my nature to love, but I can be kind to you. They let her slide from pegs of sanity into a bed made soft with tears, and she lay there weeping, for sleep had lost its use. I shall build walls with tears, she said, walls to shut me in. Her husband shut her in every morning, locked her in her room of books, with a streak of sunshine lying near the door, like a yellow cat to keep her company. But soon winter came, and one day, while locking her in, he noticed that the cat of sunshine was only a line, a half thin line, and in the evening, when he returned to take her out, she was a cold and half dead woman, now of no use at all to men.
Nani, read by Nibedita. Nani, read by Nibedita.
Hello. Yeah. Nani, the pregnant maid, hanged herself in the privy one day for 3 long hours until the police came. She was hanging there, a clumsy puppet, and when the wind blew, turning her gently on the rope, it seemed to us, who were children then, that Nani was doing, to delight us, a comic dance. The shrubs grew fast before the summer's end. The yellow flowers had hugged the doorway and the walls. The privy, so abundant, became an altar then, a lonely city, for a goddess who was dead another year or two. And I asked my grandmother one day, don't you remember Nani, the dark plum one who bathed me near the well? Grandmother shifted the reading glasses on her nose and stared at me. Nani, she asked, who is she? With that question ended Nani. Each truth ends thus with a query. It is this designated deafness that turns morality into immorality, the definite into the soft indefinite. They are lucky who ask questions and move on before the answers come. Those wise ones who reside in a blue silent zone, unscratched by doubts, for theirs is the clotted peace embedded in life, like music in the coil's egg, like lust in the blood, or like the sap in a tree.
The maggots. At sunset on the river bank, Krishna loved her for the last time and left. That night, in her husband's arms, Radha felt so dead that he asked, what is wrong? Do you mind my kisses, love? And she said, no, not at all, but thought, what is it to the corpse if the maggots nip? The Freaks, read by S. Ritumedhavi. He talks, turning a sun-stained cheek to me. His mouth, a dark cavern, the stalactites of uneven teeth gleam. His right hand on my knee, while our minds are willed to race towards love, but they only wander, tripping idly over puddles of desire. Can this man with nimble fingertips unleash nothing more alive than the skin's lazy hungers? Who can help us who have lived so long and have failed in love? The heart, an empty cistern, waiting through long hours, fills itself with coiling snakes of silence. I am a freak. It's only to save my face I flaunt at times a grand, flamboyant lust. My Mother at 66, read by Ratika.
Driving from my parents' home in Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me, those open mouthed, her face ashen like that of a corpse, and realized with pain that she was as old as she looked, but soon put that thought away and looked out at a young trees bending, the married children spilling out of their homes. But after the airport's security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her tan pale face as a late winter's moon and felt that old familiar ache, my childhood fear. But all I said was, see you soon, Amma. And all I did was smile and smile and smile.
A losing battle.
How can my love hold him when the other flaunts a gaudy lust and is lioness to his beast? Men are wordless to trap them, use the cheapest bait of all, but never love, which in a woman must mean tears and a silence in the blood.
The Stone Age, read by Kanishta. Kanishta?
Fond husband, ancient settler in the mine, old fat spider, weaving webs of bewilderment. Be kind. You turn me into a bird of stone, a granite dove. You build round me a shabby room, and stroke my pitted face absent-mindedly while you read. With loud talk, you bruise my pre-morning sleep. You stick a finger into my dreaming eye, and yet, on daydreams, strong men cast their shadows. They sink like white suns in the swell of my Dravidian blood. Secretly flow the drains beneath sacred cities. When you leave, I drive my blue battered car along the bluer sea. I run up 40 noisy steps to knock at another's door. Through peepholes, the neighbors watch. They watch me come and go like rain. Ask me, everybody, ask me what he sees in me. Ask me why he's called a lion, a libertine. Ask me why his hand sways like a hooded snake before it claps my pubis. Ask me why, like a great tree, felled, he slumps against my breast and sleeps. Ask me why life is short and love is shorter still. Ask me what is bliss and what its price.
That's all for today. A big thanks to all the people who have been watching us, supporting us. Your love and support means a lot to us. And sorry for the mild intrusions we had in between. It was due to some network issue. We hope that you won't mind it. And see you next Sunday. Bye bye, everyone. Take care. Stay home. Stay safe.